Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and this obnoxious woke chick with this self-righteous God complex tries to trap Donald Trump with a couple of questions, and man, he just puts her under the jail with his responses. He is 100% right here. And before we dive into the video, I want to give a quick shout out over to our friends, our sponsors, Colonial Metals Group, who quite literally have the key against Bidenflation, but more on that later. Now, let's get back into the video. Go ahead.
Okay. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can prove me wrong, but I don't think that you're a friend to women.
I knew I shouldn't have picked her. All right, so let me give you that answer right now. I respect women incredibly. I have had women working for me in positions that they've never worked in terms of construction, in terms of so many different jobs. I had a woman who was in charge of the building of Trump Tower many years ago, before anybody would have even thought of it, and did a fantastic job. I have given women more opportunity than I would say virtually anybody in the construction industry. I have a daughter named Ivanka and a wife named Melania who constantly want me to talk about women's health issues because they know how I feel about it, and they know how I feel about women. I respect women. I love women. I cherish women. You know, Hillary Clinton said he shouldn't cherish. Well, I said, I do cherish. I cherish women. My mother was one of the great people of the world, maybe the greatest ever, my mother. I respect women, and I'm going to take care of women. You know, Jeb Bush didn't want to fund women's health issues. You read that. You saw that. And then he took it back later. I will take care of women, and I have great respect for women, and I do cherish women, and I will take care of women. And I'll take care of us also from the enemy, meaning the enemy on different shores that's looking to come in and do numbers. Believe me, I will take care of the people in this country far better than any of the folks that you're looking at right now. That I can tell you. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not looking to the right.
Oh, I thought it was finished.
Is it on? Okay. I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
Look at me, I got girl boss energy. I'm self-righteous and better than you. Good grief. Who in their right minds respects this kind of attitude? And this isn't the first time. She's shown up in I think some Turning Point videos, or maybe some videos with Michael Knowles. So this isn't the first time that she's shown this ridiculous girl boss energy. Look, I get it. Feminine energy is different than masculine. That's totally okay. But when you're out here trying to project feminine energy, like, I'm better than you, and you're expecting a guy like Donald Trump to respect it, I am shocked that he was this composed. Because that's something for guys it's really easy to mock. I just did. And I mocked it for a simple point. This girl thinks that she's self-righteous. She thinks that she is working for a cause. And it does not matter what answer Donald Trump gives her, she is going to reject it outright. Hey y'all, in case you haven't noticed, this isn't stretching like it used to. As a matter of fact, it's turning more into this. Folks, we are in an inflationary crisis, and that's why this show is sponsored by Colonial Metals Group. The experts led by CEO Paul Stone fully understand the minute details of investing in gold, silver, and other precious metals. They are here to protect your wealth against the insanity that has been Bidenomics and our refusal to stop printing money. And they even have a deal for first-time buyers. Free gold and silver IRA-backed accounts, insured storage for 5 years, up to $7,500 in free silver, and a personal safe to keep all this good stuff. So take a look at their website, link in the description below, or give them a call at this number to see what Colonial Metals Group can do to protect your wealth today. And how does Donald Trump answer? He cherishes women, he respects women. I can believe that to a certain degree. I'm not dumb enough to think that certain allegations aren't true. I'm not sure about the Stormy Daniels story. The E. Jean Carroll story, I do not believe for a second. But I can believe a man with that kind of access and that kind of power, and not to mention that kind of drive, hasn't had a little bit too much fun sometimes. I can believe that. What I can also believe is that he has a special amount of respect in his heart for certain women in certain positions. And that's an okay thing to have. That's a good start. That's not where you need to be. You need to love and cherish the women in your life. It's really that simple. I haven't been great on that. I'm trying to get better. And that's the point, trying to get better. And Trump does seem to show that throughout the past couple of years of his life, particularly as he has been running for president, as being seen here, and then even to this day. So yeah, getting better, that's great. But there's something more important going on. And that is the way the media is going to look at a clip like this. Remember, the media did not care one bit when Bill Clinton got caught multiple times, both in Little Rock and in the White House. His conduct with interns was well documented, and no one cared until it was too blatant to cover up. Compare that to a Republican. I'm actually not going to use Trump here. I'm going to use Newt Gingrich as an example, because he was a fellow 90s figure to Bill Clinton. Newt Gingrich was infamous for cheating on one of his wives who had cancer at the time. That was a skeleton so large in the closet that the only people that cared about it were the mainstream media and evangelical Republicans. Because it seems that the Republicans seem like they actually do care about family values. They're just not really good at upholding it. I hate to laugh at that, but I'm going to use even another example. There was a governor, both from South Carolina, and the more you look at South Carolina history, the more you're going to sit there and scratch your head. But there was a governor, a Republican governor, who followed up, who was around the same time as one of their senators, John Edwards. John Edwards knocked up one of his, not interns, but he knocked up one of his workers. And at a certain point, they couldn't deny it anymore. And so the media just kind of hushed him to the side after the 2004 election. Compare that to the governor, I believe Stanton was his name, who said that he was out climbing the Appalachian Trail, when in reality he was high on some Argentinian tale. Yes, I pulled that from the Capitol steps. Don't sue me. So it turns out that the media had a firestorm over Stanton, and then it was just this quiet Edwards go away. And the funny thing about the Edwards story, it was a tabloid that picked up on it. I think it was Insider. It might have been Insider or the Inquirer. They won a Pulitzer Prize for this story, which means that even the tabloids are better at giving you the news than the mainstream media. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because whenever you bring up women and Trump, a lot of people are going to go back to the Access Hollywood tapes. And that was my aha moment in politics. Up until that point, I was a huge never Trumper. I despised the guy. I hated his rhetoric. I hated what he had to say. I thought he was going to get his lunch money taken from him on the international stage. Turns out I am only 1 for 3, and even now I understand why his rhetoric is the way it is. And that's because the media had the Access Hollywood tapes since like the early 2000s. Instead of releasing them in the primary, which evangelical voters would have said, no, we are not voting for this man, they would have voted for Ted Cruz. And when I came to the realization that the media has the power of elections in the palm of their hands, that's when I realized the media is corrupt, cannot be trusted, and the only person who's speaking out against it is Donald Trump. So this isn't about policy. I wish it was. Because if we were talking about policy, then Donald Trump would clearly be better for women than Kamala Harris, who had a terrible excuse as a border czar, was a terrible advisor to Joe Biden, was a weak second in command, and not to mention one of the most toxic members in the Senate. There's sort of an unwritten rule in Washington. Democrats are nice to your face, but they will abuse their staff. Republicans are nice to their staff, but they're weird in their nightlife. That's kind of the unwritten rule. And thus, you can trust Kamala Harris to be toxic. You can trust Donald Trump to have a few escapades floating around there. I would rather trust the person with the escapades and the one with good policy than the one who is toxic to her staff but is nice to you to your face. I cannot trust a person who does that. That's the real question you need to be asking here. And this self-righteous girl boss who thinks that she knows everything can't see past this dichotomy. She can't fully understand that it is better to have a serial philanderer with good policies than it is to have a nice, normal person, even though Kamala Harris, let's ask Willie Brown how much he enjoyed having her on his staff. Whereas Kamala Harris is nice to your face but toxic to her staff, and not to mention terrible on policy. I wish, because that's not a really simple calculus, but that's what it is. So that's what we have to choose between two. So I'm choosing the serial philanderer here. And the girl boss, well, I know what she's going to do. And all I can say is, bless her heart. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politbro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, have a good one.